wanted her dead. You wanted to make sure she was dead.
I just don't remember it all. There's so much chaos.
June 26, 2023, an Army Master Sergeant, 3 combat tours, decorated soldier, dead on her kitchen floor. Surveillance cameras captured everything. The threats, the execution, the reload. Her husband pulled the trigger. The jury watched the footage, but they didn't call it murder. Why? Because he claimed she abused him, that he broke, that he had no choice. But prosecutors uncovered something else. A secret, a double life, something so disturbing he was willing to kill to keep it hidden. What horrifying secret did Ashley discover that cost her everything? Why did the jury let him off with manslaughter when the cameras showed an execution? Watch till the end, because what really happened will shock you.
You're on a mission to convict this guy. That's what...
He convicted himself. There's video. He's convicted himself. Let's show the footage.
This is the story of Sergeant First Class Ashley Henning, and the man who silenced her forever. Ashley Henning wasn't just a soldier. She was a warrior. She joined the U.S. Army in 2005 and deployed to Iraq in 2006 and 2007, Afghanistan in 2009 and 2010, Kuwait in 2015 and 2016. 3 combat deployments, multiple commendations, stationed at Fort Knox working in Army Human Resources Command. She came home from war zones, survived enemy fire, earned her rank through blood, sweat, and sacrifice. She was posthumously promoted to Master Sergeant. But war wasn't what killed her. Home was. Ashley was married to Jordan Henning. He was also in the Army, also stationed at Fort Knox, Staff Sergeant, 1st Army Division East. On paper, they were the perfect military couple. 2 soldiers, 2 patriots, building a life together. They had 3 children, a home in Hardin County, security cameras installed around the property for safety. Those cameras would document her murder. June 26, 2023, started like a celebration. Ashley's 37th birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley.
Friends came over. The family gathered. There was food, drinks, and laughter. Her friend Jamie Savitt spent 6.5 hours at the house that day. She would later become one of the most important witnesses in the case. But there was something Jamie noticed months before that birthday party. Something about Jordan that set off alarm bells.
There was a boundary very set early on with me and Jordan from that night forward, from that conversation to where when he put his hands on my face and I pushed him off of me and I said, Jordan, don't do that. Because I even said, there's just certain lines with me you do not cross. I said, my lines are, you do not F with my husband and you do not F with my kids. And he laughed and he goes, yeah. I said, that to me, you mess with my husband and you mess with my kids, I said, I will gladly rock a jumpsuit and smile in my mugshot if you cross those lines with me. I said, you can come in my house, you can steal my stuff, you can do anything, but don't cross those lines with me. Don't mess with my family. That is important to me. And Jordan laughed and he said, yeah, he goes, I feel similar.
But then Jordan said something that would haunt the courtroom.
He goes, but the difference between me and you is he goes, being military, he goes, I can claim PTSD, and because I take testosterone injections, he goes, I can say I had a rage moment and claim insanity. And I was like, yeah, you actually do have a leg up on me if something ever crazy did happen.
Jordan Henning had already planned his defense. Months before he pulled the trigger, he knew exactly what to say if he ever killed someone. PTSD, testosterone, a rage moment, insanity. He laid out the playbook. Then he followed it. The birthday party ended around evening. Friends left. The house went quiet. Ashley and Jordan were alone with their children. And then everything went to hell. What happened next was captured on multiple home security cameras. Every word, every movement, every shot. The prosecution would later use this footage to argue premeditated murder. The defense would claim it showed a man breaking under years of abuse. The jury would watch it all, and then decide who was telling the truth. The argument started inside. Jordan was yelling, screaming at Ashley. The prosecutor described what the cameras captured.
As soon as her friends were gone, Jordan Henning came in, and you'll see and hear, because this storm too was caught on camera. Surveillance cameras around the house will show you how Jordan Henning raged into the kitchen and begins yelling. He screams at her, he yells at her, "You never listen to me, you don't love me." He's berating their son. It gets to the point, you'll see, she yells for the kids to go to their rooms and close their doors. You'll see and hear how one of the children ran next door to the neighbors. You'll see how the neighbors came to try and intervene and calm him down. And he threatens them.
One of the children ran to the neighbor's house, terrified, desperate for help. The neighbor testified about what happened when that child arrived.
He said that, my mom sent me over. She needs your dad's help. My dad is super mad at my mom, and she needs you to come over. My daughter immediately came to the stairs, to the cellar, and called out for us. When I came upstairs, she told me what her had said, and I did just that. I walked out the front, headed over to find out what was going on. As I did that, I commented to her, "Go get Jimmy," who was our other neighbor to the north of our house. It said, "Jimmy's already over there." So I came out the door and walked across the street through our front yard, through the ditch and over into the front yard of the Henning's house. Approached it. Jimmy Watts came out of the house. He came off the deck, because the deck lets out into the backyard. He came off the deck and around the side to the fence. And the first thing he said was, "You need to call 911.
The neighbor rushed over. So did another neighbor named Jimmy Watts. By the time they arrived, Jordan had a gun. The cameras captured what happened on the patio. Ashley was sitting, Jordan standing over her, screaming and raging. And then she said something that would be her last act of defiance. According to court testimony, Ashley looked at Jordan and said, "Be a man, put down the gun." She was staring down the barrel. She knew what was coming, and she refused to beg. Jordan pulled the trigger. The first shot hit her, then another, for shots total. Ashley tried to get up, tried to run. She stumbled through the back door into the kitchen. Jordan followed. The surveillance camera inside the kitchen captured what came next. Ashley collapsed on the kitchen floor, bleeding, moaning. Jordan stood over her and pulled the trigger again. Click. The gun jammed. Here's where the prosecution's case became ironclad. Jordan didn't panic, didn't run, didn't call for help. He walked to another room, fixed the jam, reloaded the weapon, got a fresh magazine, and then he came back. The prosecutor described this moment to the jury with brutal clarity.
And unfortunately, you're going to see, after all of the turmoil, all the threats, you're going to see Ashley Henning sitting in a chair. and Jordan Henning shooting her as she sits there pleading with him to put the gun down. You see how she tries to get up and run. He follows, stands over her and shoots her. Gets another magazine and comes back and stands over her and executes her. And you'll see how he spits on her body as he walks away. And you'll hear how he does a countdown. He tells her, this is going to end in death tonight. You're going to hear him tell her it's all her fault. Now, I don't know what kind of explanation or excuse one can come up for that. But when you've heard all of the evidence and you've seen and heard the video, I'm going to ask you to find Jordan Henning guilty of murder.
Jordan walked back into the kitchen. Ashley was still alive, still moaning. He stood over her body and fired the final shot, execution style. Then he walked away, left her body on the floor, and according to the prosecutor, he did one more thing before he left. Court testimony revealed that Jordan spat on Ashley's body as he walked past. Court testimony revealed that Jordan spat on Ashley's body as he walked past. The woman he married, the mother of his children, the soldier who survived 3 war zones. He executed her, then spit on her corpse. Jordan left the house, walked about a mile away, but police found him shortly after. When they tried to question him, his response was captured on body camera footage.
Just kill me, don't send me. I'm not gonna do that. Please do that. Just kill me. Absolutely.
Jordan Henning was arrested and charged with murder. Ashley Henning was dead at 37. Her children were orphaned, and the cameras had captured everything. But here's the moment when the case took an unexpected turn and everything became far more complicated. The case went to trial in early 2025, nearly 2 years after Ashley's death. The prosecution had surveillance footage, audio of threats, witness testimony, a clear timeline. But the defense had one strategy: paint Ashley as the abuser, make Jordan the victim, and they had a legal theory that could turn murder into manslaughter. Kentucky law allows for something called extreme emotional disturbance. If a defendant can prove they were so emotionally distraught that they couldn't think clearly, murder can be reduced to first-degree manslaughter. The defense argued Jordan had been abused for years, that he finally snapped, that the shooting wasn't premeditated, it was a psychological break. Defense attorney Robert Eggert laid out the case in his opening statement. The defense painted Ashley as a violent, controlling abuser. They claimed Jordan had endured years of physical and emotional torture.
Jordan Henning was an outstanding soldier. He served his country honorably, both in the United States and overseas. He placed himself in danger. He served our country and served our country to protect us. Tragically, on this date, and this is a man, the evidence will show, no criminal record, no brushes with the law, never committed a crime in his life. But on this day, he snapped. He lost it. He went over the edge. He killed his wife in his home. The home had a security system, which he helped install. And so the shooting is on video. The shooting is awful. But having said that the video is awful, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Henning, as I said, broke. He's not the first person to break, and he broke. There's no other explanation. He went over the edge, and he went over the edge for a variety of reasons. One, he was embroiled in a marriage that was horrible. The proof will show that there was physical abuse in the marriage and had been for years. Grabbing of the testicles to the point where he was in pain. Mental abuse. You're worth nothing. You're nothing at all. You're useless. You're worthless. You're not a man. It was day after day, year after year. You're nothing. He had a condition where he had to take testosterone, and there were repeated remarks. You're less than a man.
The defense painted Ashley as a violent, controlling abuser. They claimed Jordan had endured years of physical and emotional torture. The courtroom was divided. Some jurors seemed sympathetic. The extreme emotional disturbance defense was working. But then the case took an unexpected turn. The prosecution had evidence that told a very different story. And it had nothing to do with abuse. It had everything to do with secrets. Dark secrets, hidden for years. Secrets Ashley had discovered just before her death. Secrets horrifying enough to kill for. What happened next shocked everyone in the courtroom.
You manipulated the narrative. You continue to manipulate the narrative now. You sold the jury a lie and somehow got away with a lesser charge. But those lies don't protect you here today. Someone close to you finally had enough of your lies and your deceit. They came forward and revealed what you've been hiding. Your double life. The life you live as base player. While you were in court accusing Ashley of being unstable for years, dating back as far as 2014 when you were stationed in Colorado, you were living underneath that personality on FetLife and Hamster. Those accounts are still active. You've been keeping your BDSM, cross-dressing, having sex with other men, alternative lifestyle in secret and in the shadows. And now it comes into the light. I'm not here to shame you for your choices in the bedroom. It's yours to own. What I'm here to say is this. When you sat in the courtroom and tried to paint Ashley as unstable, unfaithful, and deviant, you were just projecting. There's plenty of photographic evidence and video evidence to substantiate my claim. Like I said, those accounts are still active. You made Ashley the villain, discovering who you really are. She found out, and that terrified her. You told her, you're going to ruin my image. We all heard it on camera. When Ashley finally said she had had enough, and you made sure she wouldn't say another word to another soul. So now I'm saying it for her. You were and are living a lie. You killed the one person who could expose it. No more masks, no more lies. The person you pretended to be is no more. Now you must deal with the real Jordan. So welcome to the light, and good luck on the inside, base player. Spelled BASEPLAYAR. Now that the truth is out, I'm sure your fellow inmates will appreciate the full picture.
FetLife and Xhamster is an adult social networking site focused on alternative lifestyles and fetishes. Jordan had a profile, pictures of himself, details about his sexual interests, and Ashley had found out. But it wasn't just FetLife. The truth was much bigger. Jordan Henning was living a double life. He had been secretly cross-dressing, engaging in an alternative sexual lifestyle, hiding it from everyone, his wife, his family, his fellow soldiers. He had been doing this for nearly a decade. And when Ashley discovered the truth, she threatened to expose him. The surveillance footage captured Jordan's words to Ashley before he shot her. According to testimony, he told her, "This is going to end in death tonight." He wasn't breaking. He was executing a plan. He told her it was all her fault, that she had pushed him to this. But the prosecution had one more devastating piece of evidence. Remember what Jordan told his friend Jamie months before the murder? That he could claim PTSD, testosterone issues, a rage moment? He wasn't predicting his defense. He was planning it. Jordan took the stand in his own defense. He had to. The video was too damning. His testimony was a mess of contradictions and convenient memory loss. Jordan claimed Ashley attacked him, that neighbors were threatening him, that he ran upstairs to get his gun because he thought someone was going to kill him. He claimed he didn't remember most of the shooting, that it was all a blur, that he just broke. But the prosecutor wasn't buying it.
What possible purpose would you have to ride around in a gun after you shot her 4 times and she's on the floor? What possible purpose did you have for that?
My purpose for it is to get around back into the chamber, sir.
You wanted her dead. You wanted to make sure she was dead. You heard the moaning. She was dying. That wasn't enough for you. Isn't that right? You wanted her dead that night. What other reason would you fire a gun into this young woman laying on the floor, moaning from the gun bullets that you put in her seconds before? What other purpose other than you wanted her dead? Isn't that what? Can we agree on that?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You don't remember doing this?
I don't.
You don't remember shooting this young woman a fifth time after you racked the bullet into the round, into this chamber, the gun?
No, I don't, sir.
Jordan admitted he went to reload. He admitted his purpose was to chamber another round, but he claimed he didn't remember firing that final shot. The jury didn't believe him, but they didn't convict him of murder either. The defense brought in a psychologist, Dr. J. Anderson, court-appointed expert.
Now, you also reviewed the security videos.
Yes, sir.
That the jury has seen. And I will also inform you that there's been testimony here that that night, he was in a rage and he couldn't even see what was in front of him. Would that be consistent with an extreme emotional disturbance?
It would. It would.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, I think just by definition, just that state of being, so enraged, inflamed, that it does impact your rational thinking, your judgment, and so you're not, processing and working in a normal way cognitively.
The expert testimony gave the jury an out, a way to acknowledge Jordan killed Ashley without calling it murder, and they took it. March 20th, 2025. After watching the surveillance footage, after hearing Jordan's testimony, after seeing the FetLife profile and hearing about the double life, the jury returned a verdict. Not guilty of murder, guilty of first-degree manslaughter. The courtroom erupted. Ashley's family was devastated, enraged. They had watched the video. They knew what Jordan did, and the jury called it manslaughter. One family member's outburst was so loud the judge threatened to jail them if it continued. Outside the courthouse, Ashley's loved ones called the jury cowards, said justice had been denied. Chris Campbell, Ashley's cousin and a fellow Army veteran, delivered a victim impact statement that tore through the courtroom like shrapnel.
You robbed them of their innocence and safety. And the one place that they should have felt the safest. No matter how much love and support we provide, nothing both will replace the presence of another. We carry the weight of losing someone so important to so many people. You should consider yourself lucky. Because prison is the safest place on earth for you right now. Because I can't get my hands on you. It was utterly disgusting during the trial while you hid behind the fact that you were a soldier. Let me be clear. You don't get to use the uniform to justify what you did. You wore it, but you disgraced it. I reviewed your service record book. And yet you invoke your service and the training you received as some sort of excuse for murdering Ashley. No excuse. It's pathetic and it's insulting. Ashley is a real deal. She was a decorated soldier. She served her country in Iraq and Afghanistan with honor and courage. You don't get to stand in your shadow and pretend you wore the same uniform the same way she did. You are a disgrace to every man and woman who has ever served the country in uniform with integrity, and you dishonored your sacrifice every time you open your mouth and pretend otherwise.
Chris Campbell didn't just mourn Ashley. He exposed the real motive. Jordan wasn't an abused husband who snapped. He was a man living a secret life, a life Ashley discovered, a life she threatened to reveal, and rather than face the consequences, he killed her. May 6, 2025, sentencing hearing. The judge had a decision to make. First-degree manslaughter in Kentucky carries up to 20 years. Jordan's attorneys asked for leniency. They argued he had suffered, that he was a victim too. The judge wasn't convinced. 20 years, the maximum sentence. Jordan must serve 85% of that sentence before he's eligible for parole. That's 17 years minimum. But Jordan's legal team wasn't done. They filed a motion under a Kentucky statute that allows sentence reduction when a defendant claims they were a victim of domestic violence and killed their abuser. Jordan argued Ashley had abused him for years, that he deserved a reduced sentence. On May 21, 2025, the court held a post-conviction hearing. The petition was denied. The judge didn't buy the abuse narrative. The evidence didn't support it. Jamie Savitt testified she never saw Ashley physically abuse Jordan. Other witnesses said the same. During the trial, Jamie Savitt had one of the most powerful exchanges with the defense attorney.
You already talked about how you wanted to be in the trial.
That would only be common sense since I'd spent 6.5 hours with her that day. I was the only one of the very few people that spent the whole day with her leading up to it. So that would only
And that you wanted to give these victim impact statements.
Yes.
You're on a mission to convict this guy. That's
He
what
convicted himself. There's video. He's convicted himself.
you are ensuring, trying to his conviction.
No,
That's
what I want is
goal.
I want these people, and I know you might not have a heart to understand, but everybody else in this room, I want them to understand the impact that he has had and his actions has had on so many people. That's what I want.
Right, we're not even at that stage yet. You are on a mission.
You're bringing this up. He convicted himself. Let's show the footage.
Let's show the footage, because the footage tells the truth. Ashley didn't attack Jordan. She told him to put the gun down. Jordan didn't black out. He reloaded with purpose. This wasn't an extreme emotional disturbance. This was an execution. Jordan Henning is currently serving his 20-year sentence in a Kentucky state prison. He'll be eligible for parole in 2042. He'll be in his late 50s. Ashley's 3 children are growing up without their mother. They'll never hear her laugh again, never feel her hug, never have her at their graduations, their weddings, the births of their own children. Ashley survived the war. She came home from Iraq, Afghanistan, and Kuwait. She survived enemy combatants, roadside bombs, hostile fire, but she was killed in her own kitchen by the man who promised to love her. The jury's decision to convict Jordan of manslaughter instead of murder sparked national debate. Ashley Henning served her country with honor. She was promoted to Master Sergeant posthumously. Jordan Henning dishonored his uniform. He used his military service as an excuse for murder. Do you think the jury got it right? Was this manslaughter or murder? Comment below. Our hearts go out to Ashley and her family. Our mission is simple. Voices for the voiceless. Every story deserves to be heard. Join our mission by subscribing to Evidence Eye because the truth matters, and we won't stop telling it.